In medieval times, parasitic infection was part of contemporary life. Until the advent of filtration and hygiene, drinking water contained feces, a perfect breeding ground for parasites. This parasite-infested water would then be drank by an unsuspecting person, where the worms could survive and lay their eggs. These worm eggs would then be excreted from the body into the toilet, whose water would flow straight into drinking water dispensaries. With worms making their residence in our bodies, the immune system began plotting ways to defend against these pesky parasites. But this wasn't easy. Parasitic worms are surrounded by an elastic protective layer that's resistant to most environments, including stomach acid. Our immune system is activated by dendritic cells, who notice foreign pathogens. Then, they move down the bloodstream to the lymph nodes and activate beta cells, which produce IgE antibodies. These IgE antibodies attach themselves to nearby mast cells, explosive cells that are filled with histamine and other chemicals. Now armed, the mast cells wait in the body until another worm arrives. At this point, the mast cells attach to the worm's body and explode, releasing histamine, which wounds the worm. In our body, the release of histamine causes inflammation, which orders nearby blood vessels to release water. Then, mucosal cells become activated and cover the worm in slime. Other chemicals within the mast cells signal eosinophils to increase inflammation and release toxic chemicals that attack the worm and may even kill it. Lastly, basophils arrive for moral support, preventing the immune system from slowing down and alerting more attack cells to the point of inflammation. Aside from inflammation, these anti-parasitic chemicals cause smooth muscle cells to contract in the intestines as the body attempts to expel the parasite. Along with excess water, this typically leads to diarrhea and vomiting. Moreover, this contraction causes the respiratory tract to swell, resulting in breathing difficulties and release of mucus and water from the nose. Now it's time for questions. You'll have 15 seconds to answer the following question. When do mast cells activate/explode? Good job! The answer was B, when the mast cells attach to the worm.
So now we know how the immune system fought these parasitic worms in the past. But what does this have to do with allergies? Well, in order to adapt to the attacks from our immune system, worms began to release chemicals that manipulated our immune system. It became weak and less aggressive, which was dangerous considering that worms weren't the only parasites our immune system had to fight. So in turn, our immune systems responded by becoming more aggressive so that we could stand a chance against other invaders. However, one major societal change disrupted the life cycle of parasitic worms: sanitation. Hygiene improvements and the separation of feces from our drinking water cut off the worms from our bodies, and modern medicine eradicated remaining worms. While this can be seen as a win, a major concern was that now our immune systems lacked a major enemy to fight. Over the course of a couple hundred years, an enemy that was constantly suppressing our immune system for thousands of years was suddenly gone. And it's likely that our bodies still believe that it has to continue being overly aggressive in order to counter its weakening from the chemicals released from the worms. It's still on high alert. This is how Kurzgesagt explains how this might have led to a selective immune response, but in the context of a shrimp allergy.
This is exactly what happens when you have an allergic reaction to a shrimp. Your immune system picks up shrimp proteins and produces IgE antibodies against shrimps. The antibodies then arm mast cells, turning them into bombs. So you have millions of bombs in your skin, your lungs, or your gut, with a license to choose violence even when provoked a little bit. Until one day you eat another shrimp. Your anti-parasite forces flip on like a switch. Only there is no kaiju to attack. This is what you experience when you have an allergic reaction. Extremely powerful weapons now target your own body. Under your skin, your blood vessels suddenly turn leaky. Fluid streams into your tissue, your skin swells up and turns red, often in itchy hives. You immediately feel hot and unwell. In your digestive system, the mast cells can cause nausea, cramps and sharp pain as water floods into your intestines and triggers intense diarrhea and vomiting. Your respiratory tract swells up, making breathing hard. Way more dangerously, histamine and other chemicals can cause the smooth muscles in your lungs to tense up. In the best case, you get a stuffy nose. In the worst case, you're suddenly fighting for your life. Mast cells all over your body unload their bombs all at once, causing an anaphylactic shock. Your blood loses so much water that your blood pressure drops to dangerous levels. This alone is life-threatening. In combination with the things going on in your lungs, anaphylaxis is a life or death emergency, often with just a small time window to do anything about it.
We still don't know why some people's bodies choose to attack a certain substance or food, resulting in different allergies, or why some people develop or lose an allergy later in life. Additionally, it's still not known whether less diverse microbiomes or increased pollution could have had an effect on the rise of allergies, or whether it's a combo of them all. But what we do know, however, is that allergies are no joke.